Welcome everyone to the Warriors Geeky News for the 2nd of March 2013. In today's Geeky News we're going to be discussing some interesting things. The possibility of The Last of Us 2, Gearbox suing the people, creators of Duke Nukem Mass Destruction, Xbox One goes down in prices, BioWare working with an indie developer on a secret story-based project, lead writers of Ubisoft ask why are there no gay protagonists, and also South Park, Stick of Truth Censorship. It's a sad time. So let's stick around and find out. Let's move on to our first story of the day, which will be Last of Us 2. It's no secret that I love The Last of Us 2. Last of Us 2. Yeah, I've played Last of Us 2. Fuck, I've played it already. No. It's no secret that I really enjoyed Last of Us. I definitely think it is one of the best games that came out last year. I'm not the only one. It won countless awards. It got major acclaim, and also got some news here or there for various things in the DLC, such as Ellie kissing someone of the same sex. Which, why is that fucking news? I'm just kind of curious about that. Why is that fucking news? I know people are pretty. But the developers of it, Naughty Dog, did come out and state that they are going to work on The Last of Us 2 if they think it's right. Now, they are wording it quite developer-y, as you can tell. I'm not going to quote it because it's very vague and it's kind of usual shit here. But they did state like they aren't going to make a Last of Us 2 if they can write a good story for it. That's basically what they've kind of came to say. They are going to try and come up with a story that makes sense. But if they can, they're going to go somewhere and try and come up with a story. Or they might not make it. Now, would I play a Last of Us 2? In all honesty, my opinion on this is Last of Us, I think, should be very similar to the Assassin's Creed franchise. Wait before everyone fucking shoots me. I'm talking about each game has a different protagonist, has a different set of protagonists. Maybe Last of Us introduced us to this world with Joel and Ellie, showed how harsh this world is, shows how destructive this world is, and show how desperate people are. That this world is willing to kill innocent people just to get food. Things are at a premium. That's what that world showed us. Last of Us 2 could follow either one new character or two completely different characters on a different storyline. They could write a different storyline that didn't involve anything about, spoiler alert, about getting a cure or about survival. It could just be about two individuals or one singular character on a quest, that kind of thing. It doesn't have to be the same as The Last of Us. You don't need to bring back Joel and Ellie. Joel and Ellie's story, while I kind of want to see what happens to them, I honestly think that should be done in a DLC, not a separate game. You could wrap things up pretty nicely with a DLC, in my opinion, rather than a full-on game that you'd have to stretch things out in. Because this world of The Last of Us is interesting. I personally think that definitely would play a Last of Us 2 if, well, I'll probably play either way, but I think they should probably make it in a completely independent story, a new one compared to Ellie and Joel, because that story was fantastic. It's a big risk, but I think Naughty Dog could do it. That's my opinion on it. Let me know what your thoughts are, and then we'll move on to the next story. Well, so much for a good Duke Nukem game coming out recently. Yes, if you don't know, I did a story in my last Geeky News in which a sort of a new image came out supposedly hinting towards a new Duke Nukem game. Now, I didn't do my research properly and thought it was just going to be Gearbox making it, but it turns out it was actually another company gone by Interception Entertainment, the developers of the recent Rise of the Triads remake, which is getting apparently a lot of people love. I've never personally played it. And they built up a teaser website to Duke Nukem Mass Destruction. Apparently they did get permission. Yeah, apparently Gearbox have came out and says that they're going to have actually filed a lawsuit. Now, this story's a wee bit old. I was going to cover it last week, but unfortunately things came up. But apparently they are going to sue them, and they ain't too fucking happy about it. Now, due to the fact that this is very iffy territory, because originally the IP owners of Duke Nukem were 3D Realms, but sadly, 3D Realms are no longer about. They exist in name alone. They are not a developer, they are not a publisher, they're nothing really in a way. They are them in name alone. And really, Gearbox aren't happy about this, and this is why they filed the lawsuit. Now, here's my opinion on this. Yeah, you need permission. I'm sorry. I hate to be the devil's advocate, but you can't just say, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to make something like this." It's one thing making a mod for a game or making some fan art or fan fiction for a game that you love. It's a completely different thing from saying, "I'm going to make a AAA game and bring it out of an IP that I don't own." while I would like to see another Duke Nukem game, I really think the Interception Entertainment had to go around the proper channels to ask could they make it. Apparently they didn't ask permission, which is kind of weird. Like, you don't make a game without asking permission, unless it's a mod, in which case go right ahead. It's kind of stupid in my opinion for them to do that, but at the same time I hope that they can at least talk with Gearbox, because let's face it, Gearbox did not handle the Duke Nukem license very well. Duke Nukem Forever, while it may have been in development limbo and hell for years, Gearbox had the chance to make it something absolutely fantastic with what they had, and they dropped the ball majorly. They supposedly, now this is merely speculation, they supposedly took money that was supposed to make the Duke Nukem game and put it into Borderlands, which wouldn't surprise me in all honesty. Some developers might do that. In my opinion, if Gearbox aren't willing to put in the effort to make a good Duke Nukem game, they should maybe send the license off to another developer and let them make it. Get in touch with Interception Entertainment. If they want to make a Duke Nukem game, let them make a Duke Nukem game. Maybe they can, and if they fall flat on their face, they fall flat on their face. If they make it spectacular, Gearbox, you get some good press, and also it gives us a good Duke Nukem game. Is that so hard to ask for? I personally think that I personally hope that Interception Entertainment and Gearbox can come to some sort of compromise in which Duke Nukem Mass Destruction can come out. I really wouldn't mind seeing a good Duke Nukem game. I haven't played one since Land of... I've only played one Duke Nukem game, and it was Land of the Babes on the PlayStation, and I enjoyed that game. I do have Duke Nukem 3 on my PC, I just haven't got around to playing it, sadly enough. But I would play a new Duke Nukem game if it came out. The only reason I didn't pick up Forever is because I saw the gameplay for it and I was like, no. Yeah, I luckily picked up on that. But I think that's about all I can say on that fact, and I think I will now end this. But let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think this is a good or bad move in your opinion? But let's move on to the next story, which should be quite interesting, about a little thing that goes la 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 la. It took them fucking long enough, people. Microsoft have announced that the Xbox One will be having a UK price drop with the release of Titanfall, which no big fucking surprise there because they're gonna need it. If you don't know, the Xbox is about £100 more expensive than the PlayStation 4. I think it's like maybe about 100, not including the game extra. I think it's like 400, nearly £500 if memory serves me. Well, a PS4 is like £300 to £400 depending on the bundle you get and what version you get. This is actually I'm not surprised, in all honesty. It makes perfect sense why this would happen, because yeah, they need it. The Xbox One, sales have not been great. They have sold consoles, they have sold games, but they haven't sold anywhere near as many as the PlayStation 4, which is no fucking surprise, especially with all the shit that they did post-launch to the console. It's no surprising they're not doing as well. And in all honesty, well, neither console really has any good launch titles that are exclusive to that console. They either have one or two titles that are exclusive that are okay, or they have indie titles or games that are available on the PC, which is a superior console, which is a superior system, I hate to tell you. But yeah, it's very not surprising that this has happened, and I'm like, it happened. I'm not gonna. Apparently, it's going to drop down to about £400 with the bundle of Titanfall. Which, in all honesty, I'm very tempted, probably going to pick up Titanfall, but I'm going to be picking it up on PC because, yeah, I'm not buying an Xbox One for one game. I'm sorry, like that. While I want to buy same reason for PS4. While I want to buy a PS4, the only game coming out that I'm anywhere near interested in is Infamous Second Sons, and that's it. There are no other games coming out that I'm interested in, so yeah, I'm not buying a next gen console for one game. So it's a good thing that the price drops soon. It means more people can probably go and pick it up. But if you've already got a PS4, I don't see there's still more incentive to pick up a PS4 than there is an Xbox One, in my opinion. It's not surprising that the price has gone down, and hopefully we'll see some rise in sales because the console needs a little love. I ain't buying one though. Okay, so I think we'll now move on to the next story, which is some BioWare news. BioWare are working with an indie developer. Yeah, this is news that came out via Gamma Sutra. This is via the clan. Unfortunately, I can't remember the user who sent me. I do apologise. I can't find it on my Twitter. But I asked for some news stories to add to this Geeky news. I'm doing 6 stories instead of 3 usually. And he sent me one in which BioWare are supposedly working with a London indie developer on a story-driven IP, which is very interesting. I'm actually I'm very surprised that BioWare, not so much BioWare actually, more so EA would allow this. Now, there isn't much information on it at the moment, which is kind of surprising because it's only supposedly just started recently. But I'm very surprised as that I'm very interested to see what this is, because BioWare, if you don't know, and if you follow me already know this, are very much in the story-driven game market. They are one of the best story-driven RPG creators out there. And for them to work with an indie developer on another project is very interesting to me. I really wouldn't mind seeing what they're going to be doing with this. BioWare going a wee bit more back to the roots from which they initially came. So I'm very interested to see what they're going to do. There's not much information on it. I'm not going to spend too much long on it. But I feel like if you're a BioWare fan, you at least deserve to know this. And yeah, I'm kind of interested to see what they do with it. I don't know what the game is, but here's hoping it's decent. That's all I've got to say on that. And then we'll move on to the next story. Time to talk about Ubi. There's been a lot of this in the news lately. It's very weird in understanding that after recent news with certain things that have happened, such as with Naughty Dog coming out and talking about what happened in The Last of Us DLC, spoiler alert, in which Ellie kisses her best friend Riley on the lips. Not like a kind of thing, like an affectionate kiss, and there was debate all over the place about whether or not she was gay, a lesbian or bisexual. I don't really care. It makes sense for her character. There was controversy all over the place, and then Ubisoft come out and asked this. It's very interesting. There's been a lot of this in the news, but the lead, Lucien Solban, I hope I'm pronouncing his name, the lead writer of Ubisoft Montreal. I'm going to quote this because I gotta say this is very. I gotta quote this. I'm sorry. He says, when are we going to get a gay/lesbian AAA hero/heroine who isn't an off joke? Either we'll see a bait and switch like the original Metroid with Samus Aran, where we'll find out damn near after the fact. P.S. Dumbledore was gay, or it comes out left field with Rockstar, Valve, Naughty Dog, or Telltale perhaps. It's very, and also he does say, when it happens, I hope it's taken seriously and not played off as a joke. This is a very sensitive topic. I don't like to talk about these topics too much because I'm very much in the idea. This is my mindset. I give two shits about a person's I give two shits about a person or a character's sexuality. It's something that shouldn't need to be asked. We should accept everyone, no matter their race, sex, or gender, unless they are mass murdering, baby raping pedophiles, in which case, yes, kill them motherfuckers. But I'm very much in that mindset. I don't give two shits if you like it up the ass, pussy, like to suck it, like to be wrapped up in a bondage gear, like to have hot wax dropped on your body. Whatever your sexual preferences are, I give two shits. I don't find it I might find some stuff uncomfortable, as long as you keep it in the bedroom and don't go at me. Hey, you want me to tickle your balls while I rub a leaf over your nipple while I have hot wax poured down your ear? No! I'm not into that shit. But it makes a good valid point. I'm pretty sure out there are there's a main character somewhere in some obscure game, like Going Home. No, not Going Home. She's not. Some obscure game out there in which the main character is a person who likes the same sex. This probably is somewhere. There are characters in gaming history, and I'm pretty sure if you go back even further in fiction, you go back far enough, I'm pretty sure there's a story somewhere in which there's a gay character. But he does make a valid point. And the most recent games that try and introduce either a gay or lesbian character, there really hasn't been that many that I can think of at the top of my head. The only gay characters that I can think of are Birdo, and yeah, Birdo's fucking gay. It's a guy that likes to dress up in drag and she's with Yoshi. He or she's with Yoshi. Poison from that Final Fight game, who's supposedly a transsexual or transgender, whatever the fuck it is. Characters from Mass Effect, Samantha Trainer, and the pilot whose name escapes me. Shit. I can't remember his name, sorry, I didn't spend too much time with him. But those are some characters off the top of my head who were... Zevran, of course, he was bisexual. Some BioWare characters. And of course, in some RPGs, your character can be gay, lesbian, or bisexual. But there hasn't been many games in which it's been one main character that's had a set story in which the character's been gay. Not to my knowledge anyway, and apparently not to Lucian. But he brings up an interesting topic that if it does happen, it has to come down to the developer. He mentioned some there, such as Valve, Rockstar, Naughty Dog, and Telltale. Not so much about Valve, but I think that Rockstar, Naughty Dog, and Telltale would do this properly, and I think they would handle it well. In fact, Naughty Dog have kind of already done it with Ellie. Ellie is very much hinted at in the DLC at being either gay or a bisexual, especially after she kisses Riley. Really? Naughty Dog came out and stated, it doesn't make a fucking bit of difference. Not in those words, but this is and. She's a lesbian, she's bisexual. And? That's exactly the words that should come out of everyone's mouth, in my opinion. I know that's never going to happen, but I gotta give praise to Naughty Dog for doing that, to make Ellie that kind of character. And they stated it made sense for her character, that's it. It wasn't like, oh, let's make this a girl that we've had in our story, let's make her gay. They did it because it made sense for her character. It made sense. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but at one point in your life, you've fucking loved your best friend and you've probably kissed them. I know I have, and that fucked up a lot of shit for me. Everyone has kissed them. Everyone at one point or either wanted to or has kissed a best friend. Either in a sexual, either in a affectionate way, or just a, oh, I love you, that kind of way. There are some people who get that close to their best friend out there, but there are some people who have done that to their best friend and it's evolved into a greater relationship. And that best friend may or may not be of the same sex. Doesn't matter to me. So it made sense for Ellie's character for that to happen. And I hate people bitching about it. People are apeshitting over it. And Lucian makes a valid point. He does. When it eventually does come that there's going to be a linear story game in which the character's gay, will it be played as a joke or will it be played seriously? And here's how I think it should be played. It should be played as it's another character that just happens to be one of their traits. Their sexuality shouldn't matter. And it never should. I'm sorry. If you have a problem with a fictional character being gay, you need some help. If it makes sense for the character, that's fine. If not, that's another good point. But it's up to the writers to do that. But yeah, I hope that one day there will be a character who's gay and we can just go, okay, doesn't matter. I don't care. I hope that does happen one day. I doubt it, because there are pretty motherfuckers out there. But I gotta give this guy credit for at least coming out and saying, where are the gay characters in games? Main characters in games, not side characters in RPG. RPGs kinda don't count because that's the player character, and like you can make that character whatever the hell you want. Like, we're not talking Shepherd, we're not talking Hawk, we're not talking Warden here. We're talking main characters who have a linear story, that kind of thing. I think AAA heroine/heroes. Okay, not talking about RPGs here. His context is a little iffy and it's kind of poorly translated, as I don't know if this guy speaks French, but really bad grammar here. But yeah, I hope that there is a single player game that comes out that's an action adventure, not an RPG, that comes out and it's just, they don't treat a gay character like a, oh, fabulous, or a tomboy character lesbian like, I like pussy. I hope they don't do that. I hope that they just play it seriously, because that's what needs to be done. A developer needs to come do that, and in all honesty, Naughty Dog did it. Show you some balls, all the developers out there. You do it too. And I think I'll end that story there. Go read the article, it's worth at least a little bit of an interesting read in my opinion. So, we'll move on to the final story. Why am I not surprised that South Park's being censored? Haha. Yes, more and more censorship. Now, I was going to cover this last week as well. Supposedly, the console version of South Park in the UK and also other versions of the world will have some form of censorship in it regarding various scenes. Apparently, like up to maybe 20 minutes of gameplay has been cut out, a couple of seconds of cutscenes has been cut out. And there's some more stuff. Ubisoft remove swastikas from the German version of South Park RPG. Not gonna lie, that kinda makes sense. But at the same time, what? It's fucking South Park. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but South Park ain't known for not taking low swings. South Park is a TV show that from the very start has touched on sensitive topics, made fun of them, and has made swings and enemies on every side. For the love of Pete, there is an episode in South Park which is one of my favourites, in which it takes the absolute piss out of the whole 9/11 stuff after the fact, how Americans were acting, how not only Americans but a lot of the world were overreacting to it, and also how we view certain people, and also made fun of the what the fuck are they called? Made fun of Osama bin Laden. Sorry, I've got a blocked nose. And that's what South Park does. South Park has never been known for censorship. Only one episode of South Park has ever been taken off the air and banned, and that's because Tom Cruise was an absolute fucking fucktard with it. You're making a South Park game, and you're censoring it. Why? I get the swastika thing. In Germany, I'm probably guessing that some people are still a little butthurt about the swastika thing. And by the way, the Nazi symbol swastika technically isn't the Nazi symbol. It's a symbol of, I think it's like Jewish. It is actually a Jewish symbol if you turn it the right way. Hitler just felt like God. Done. I like it. There's some symbolism. I'm not going to go too much into it, but I don't get it. I really don't. If you have a problem with South Park in general, South Park's so well known around the world that anyone you ask someone, what do you think of South Park? They either say it's fucking funny or they find it offensive. A South Park game is going to be the exact fucking same. Censorship, I hate censorship. I'm fully much against the whole idea of censorship. Now, I am not against protecting children. Think of the children. Here's how you think of the children, parents. Do your fucking job. Be a parent. Some things, I'm talking about like pedophilic porn. Yeah, get rid of that shit. Get that the fuck out of there. Swastikas in a video game. Does that mean in Call of Duty was taken out? Because, how long was fucking Call of Duty set in Nazi Germany? So it's okay for us to kill Nazis and show the swastika, but it's not okay for a South Park game to have swastikas in it, even though they've had swastikas in episodes in South Park. It's kind of ridiculous. I really do hate that. I hate the idea of that. It's just absolutely ridiculous. If you don't want your... it's a fucking South Park game. South Park's one of the most commonly known TV programs out there. I'm pretty sure most Germans know, yeah, they've made fun of Nazis. And some would be like, oh, they can't do that. It was offensive to our lives. That was a shitty German accent, I apologise. But yeah, I hate it. I absolutely hate censorship. What's the point in censoring a South Park game? Here's the thing. If that got censored, what did you let buy in South Park? You might as well not release a South Park game, because there is going to be something in that game that will offend someone. Everything in that game will offend someone. Unless you're like me, in which you can laugh at anything. I get fucking made fun of because I'm Scottish. I give two shits about it. You know how many times I've had someone come up to me and fucking went abroad? When I was in Italy, I had so many people come up to say, you Scottish? You British? No, I'm Scottish. And with freedom, brave about that. I get made fun of that for shits and giggles. I don't give two shits. Like, I find it offensive when I could easily phone up half the fucking game developers that had a Scottish character in it and say I find that character offensive, because it's always the typical Highland accent. I could find that offensive, and could that taken out? I really don't get it. I really don't. It's absolutely ridiculous, and I find it stupid that we have to censor a game. The PC version, so hopefully the PC version will not be censored. That's why I'm getting the PC version. I want to play that game uncensored. I'm not playing it censored, I'm sorry. I want every bit of crude, violent, dirty humour there is in that game. That's all I've got to say on that. And I'm fully against censorship. I don't think censorship should be a thing. If you don't, parents of the world, because I know they're going to pull the think of the children card. Parents of the world, I'm going to give you a secret Scottish tip on how you stop your children from seeing this stuff that you don't want them to see. And I need to come closer. Come closer. Be a fucking parent and do your job. There, I've told you the secret. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone, or the secret will be out. Yeah, go fuck yourself, censorship. I'm sorry. It's absolutely ridiculous, and I know there's got to be parents that are going to say, "Please think of the children." It's fucking stupid. Yeah, think of the children of your... Think of your children. Okay? I'll give you a little story. I watched South Park when I was a kid, and I'm not a fucked up individual who wants to go and sodomize myself with giant fucking dildos and murder people out there. Admittedly, I did go into a supermarket and ask my mum in the middle of the supermarket when I was a little kid, "What's a dildo?" That was kind of embarrassing. But I was a kid, what do you expect? I still... so yeah. I think that's about it. I'm moving on. We'll see you all next time. Thank you everyone for watching the Warriors Geeky News for March 2nd, 2014. I almost said 30. I probably said 30 at the start. Son of a bitch! Anyway, thank you for watching. I covered 6 stories this week because I missed last week's due to unforeseen circumstances. But I think that's all I've got to cover in this installment of the Warriors Geeky News. I think that's everything I've got to say. So thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If there are any stories that come out throughout the week, do not hesitate to send them my way via Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, or via my Gmail email, scottishwarrior92@gmail.com, which is on my about page and maybe linked in the description. And I think that's about where I'll end it there. Thank you for watching. As always, I'm Scottish Warrior 92, and I'll see you next time on the Warriors Geeky.